Possibly in love with my, straight, best friend. I met him 2 years ago when we started 6th form. I'll call him A for the sake of this post. Immediately I found him attractive because he is very much my type, but at the time I had zero friends and terrible anxiety around making any because I'd had a very bad breakdown at a party, drank too much, was deep in alcoholism at the time, so they dropped me and I was alone for a while. Eventually started hanging out in the library because it was quieter than the common room and made a little group with one of the other people who hung there who had been in my maths class but I didn't really talk to, her best friend, and my friends in my class. There were only 3 of us in this class so we became very close. Anyways, it was thanks to this friend from maths class for introducing me to this guy because other than in the changing rooms we never spoke, and even then I didn't talk because I hate changing in front of others and just did it as fast as possible. Eventually he offered to give me something that he didn't need anymore and I very much did, and after that we started talking more and eventually he invited me to hang out with him and his friends at lunch. This was around January of my first year in 6th form. A few months before this he got a GF. Fast forward around 6 months and we were very close by my standards. His GF and I were together a lot and I realized I had a crush on him. I obviously didn't want that because he's straight, and I tried to end it by hooking up with a guy on Grindr and just sexting a bunch of guys for validation and in the hope it would satisfy me somehow. It didn't. I got super depressed and started drinking a lot again. Summer rolls around and I'm busy with uni applications and whatnot, so I had a good distraction from it all, so I put it out of my mind. I got a crush on another guy in another class because we talked a lot over this time. More than I did to A. That lasted until around Christmas when he finally stopped playing me over and said he was straight too. He had implied he was possibly bi throughout our convos, so I thought I had a shot. I was like, okay, there must be something wrong with me. Anyways, we kept talking but much for friendly than flirty, and I started messaging and hanging out with A more in the library. He gets sensory overload in the common room, so it was common for us to leave with his GF to hang there. They included me more than you'd expect a couple to, so I was content. Around my birthday, March, he confided in me about the toxicity of his relationship and their struggles. Her dad is very strict, so their relationship is hidden from him and it caused some rifts, and on my birthday he left early to meet her. I was there for him despite my feelings because I love him and want him to be happy. A few months later he confides he might not be fully straight and might be bi, but only if it's T4T, we are both FTM. This was a big moment for me because suddenly it felt like there was hope. He started sending some videos on TikTok along the lines of those homoerotic friendships that you don't talk about and things like that, and it all became very confusing. I didn't want to get my hopes up because I'm not a fan of being hurt, but I started sending similar things and seeing what happened. A week or so ago we phoned for hours talking about his GF and his feelings about their relationship. Turns out she herself could be extremely controlling and she was jealous of me because we are close and call a lot, which is just weird because he's my mate. Of course we are gonna call since we don't live very close. I encouraged him to set boundaries with her concerning some issues he raised and he did, thankfully. Last night was our prom. I was staying at his house with a friend and her BF. I'd met him a couple times before this. He is also A's best friend. I slept with A in his bed and he cuddled with me and pecked my neck once, and I stroked his hair and kissed his head because I know he likes physical affection. I thought this was us becoming closer as friends, but it turns out he, in his drunk and sleepy state, thought I was his GF. Hearing this sucked ass and I've been terribly depressed all day. Not only this, but I realized how low I am in the metaphorical ranking of friends he has. He expressed that when he has a problem there are many people he confides in, and I wasn't on this list at all. I have known for a long time that my feelings will never be returned, but knowing that we aren't even that close by his standards has almost made me want to die. I have never felt safer with anyone in my life, but for him I'm not even in the top 10. In conclusion, I think I'm in love with my straight best friend and it is killing me. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending.